Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 19 of the Be Great podcast. Today we got week 8. We got game picks going through 2 games that are happening tonight, Friday night, and then 8 games for tomorrow. It's a big weekend in college football, Georgia, Texas, Alabama, Tennessee, and we got some potential upsets brewing this weekend, but we'll get into that. I hope everyone's having an amazing Friday. It's a beautiful day outside, at least where I am. And let's just get right into it. All right? Let's get right into it. First and foremost, let's start with a couple games tonight. Tonight we got Florida State at Duke and Oklahoma State at BYU. Two very good Friday night games. Well, I say very good. Florida State and Duke are ugly to watch, but at least it's a in conference game, Same with Oklahoma State BYU. Although BYU is a good football team, Oklahoma State, yikes. Anywho, we'll start with Florida State versus Duke, huh? This one's interesting. I think that Florida State has the potential to win this game because I think Duke is slightly overrated. They've played ugly football, but it's produced wins thus far for Manny Diaz. Um, I'm going to go Duke here. They're at home. I think it's idiotic to have any type of faith in Florida State to do anything or to win any game. So I think you got to go Duke here. I like Malik Murphy, and that's enough for me. Oklahoma State at BYU. The Stormin' Mormons in Utah, they're coming. Let me tell you something. They're coming. And I think Utah is going to pick up this win, continue their undefeated run because Oklahoma State's terrible, and it's at BYU at night. That is where teams go to die. So I'm going with the Cougs. And then we go to Saturday. A lot of interesting games on Saturday. A lot of potential upsets, in my opinion. I'm going to save Alabama, Tennessee, Georgia, Texas. I'll pick those two last. We'll go with the other ones first. Kentucky, Florida. This one was probably the hardest game to pick. Yes, this one was the hardest game to pick because it really depends on which Kentucky team shows up and which Florida team shows up. If it's the Florida team we saw against Tennessee, I think Florida wins. If it's the Florida team we saw against Miami, yeah, they won't win. Again, with Kentucky, if it's a Kentucky team we saw against Georgia, against Florida, against Ole Miss, then I think Kentucky will win on the road. If it's the Kentucky team we saw against South Carolina and against Vanderbilt, then I don't think they're going to win. I'm going to go Florida here simply for the fact that they're at home. I think Kentucky has the better head coach, but Florida has home field advantage, and Florida, in my opinion, has the better quarterback. So I'm going to go with the Gators to pick up the win, which probably means they'll lose, but that's okay. Michigan at Illinois. This one, my opinion, not hard to pick. I'm going to go Illinois. I can't pick a team that has no semblance of an offense. I can't do it. I cannot do it, and they're on the road at Illinois. I don't care that Purdue's offense scored so many points against Illinois last week. Purdue's offense still might be better than Michigan's. I cannot pick a team in this type of a game that cannot throw the ball forward. I can't do it. I can't bring myself to do it. So I'm going to go Illinois. Notre Dame versus Georgia Tech. I've gone back and forth because I think Notre Dame is clearly the better team, but it's at Georgia Tech, and Georgia Tech is one of those teams that likes to occasionally just pull off the upset. And Notre Dame is one of those teams that, once they're kind of on a roll, they kind of get they kind of get lackadaisical, lazy, and they end up losing. And I feel like this could be one of those spots. I don't think Georgia Tech's very good, but I think they're a team that can definitely upset people. But I'm going to stick to my gut here, and I'm going to go Notre Dame. I just think overall they're the better team, and I'm hoping that Northern Illinois. Well, I'm not hoping it because I kind of hope they lose. It'd be funny, but I think that NIU game really woke them up, or you would think it would have, and they won't let another slip happen like this. So Miami at Louisville. I think this is going to be an upset spot. Miami should have been beat the past 2 weeks. I think they fall here. I'm going to pick Louisville. I think Louisville has been overrated and disappointing this season. It, college football, it's one of those sports where just when you think you know something about a team, it flips the script on you. And that's what this is with Louisville. We've been saying, oh, they've been a little disappointing. They've been a little disappointing. And now they're about to flip the script and beat Miami. That's my prediction. Go Cardinals. Nebraska at Indiana. I've seen a lot of people go back and forth with this game. I feel pretty confident that Indiana's going to win this game. They're at home. I love Cignetti as a coach. I think that any team that is planning on firing their head coach should look at Cignetti. I don't care that this is first year at Indiana. I think you should look at him. What he did at JMU and what he's doing now at Indiana, I think a lot of teams should look at. I think Florida should at least call him, see what he says. I love what he's doing. He's creating a culture there, which is something Florida hasn't had in a long time. And that alone could help them. But I'm going to go with Indiana. I don't think Nebraska. I think Nebraska's good. I just don't think they can score enough points, to be quite honest with you. Colorado, Arizona. If Travis Hunter wasn't playing, I think I'd go Arizona, but he is playing, so I'm going to go Colorado. Arizona's been very up and down. I could totally see them winning this game, especially with it being at Arizona. But I think I got to go Colorado here. I think right now they're just the better team. I'm flying through this. I just realized that. And then the last two games, we'll go Alabama, Tennessee first. How about we do that, huh? Alabama, Tennessee. Another one that I've kind of gone back and forth on. I think, though, I'm going to pick Tennessee to win at home. I think as of right now, I think they might have the better head coach. They're at home. And it's hard to say. I don't think they have the better quarterback right now. I think give Nico. I think Nico has a higher ceiling than Jalen Milroe. But my thing is the Tennessee offense has been pretty bad these past couple of basically since Oklahoma, basically. Since Oklahoma, Tennessee's offense has fallen off a cliff, but Alabama's defense has been putrid since the second half against Georgia. And so I think that's going to work in Tennessee's favor. I think what also is not going to work in I think what's also going to work in Tennessee's favor is their defense has been very good. And I think we'll be able to stop Jalen Milroe and this Alabama offense enough for Tennessee to squeak out a win. I don't think it's going to be – I could totally see this being a game-winning field goal game. 100% I could see that. And with it being at Tennessee, that's what really sways me into picking Tennessee to win this game. And that would put Alabama in a very difficult position going forward for the rest of this season. Let's see. Georgia, Texas. Oh, boy. As you all know, I'm a Georgia fan. I obviously picked us to beat Bama. I'm going to pick Georgia to win every single game because I'm a fan of them, but I'm also going to be honest. Oddly enough, before the season started, I was very confident in this game against Texas in Austin. I feel like I remember saying out of the three big away games, Ole Miss, Texas, Alabama, Texas was the one I was most confident in. I mean, as of right now, I think Ole Miss has got to be the one that I'm the most confident in for obvious reasons. But I still feel confident. You know, this is one of those things where when people start to doubt Kirby Smart, you tend to end up regretting it. You tend to end up regretting it. And I think people are going to regret it tomorrow. A lot's been said about this Georgia team, and I think people are going to have to eat some crow come Sunday morning. And maybe I'll have to. I don't know. I don't think Georgia's going to come in and blow Texas out. That's not what I think. But I think they win by probably anywhere from 10 to 14. Let's see if I can give a score prediction. Let's go, because I think Georgia's going to have to score into the 30s to win. No doubt. Our defense is good, but not good enough to hold Texas under 30 or under 24. I'm going to go 37. I'm going to go 37-28. I think that will be my score prediction. A win by 9. I'll go 37-28. The key to the game is really quite simple. How does the first half go? Can Georgia come out, not start slow? Can they come out, play a 4-quarter game? Can they come out and right off the gate, can they come out on offense, first possession, and score a touchdown? Can they? I think they are capable, but will they? Will they not have mental errors like they've had? Will they not? Will Carson not throw an interception? Because if Georgia turns the ball over multiple times, they're losing, plain and simple. You can't do that in this game. You can't. Will our defense? I'll tell you what. I think the first offensive possession for Georgia and the first defensive possession for Georgia, I think it's going to tell you everything. How we come out of the gate in this game is going to tell you everything. But this is, I think I saw the first time that Kirby Smart's been an underdog in 50 games, I think is what I saw. I mean, I cannot accept this team coming out and looking lackadaisical once again. I can't accept it. If you can't get yourself hype and ready to dominate in a game like this, quite frankly, you don't deserve to win a national championship. And I said it earlier. I said it on Tuesday. If Georgia doesn't win this game, I don't think they're winning the Natty. Do they still have a chance? Sure. If they can still make the playoff with 2 losses, especially if those 2 losses are to Alabama and Texas. But I'm not going to have any delusions that I think we're going to win a Natty if we lose to Texas. I'm just being honest. I think we'll win out. I think Texas is obviously a losable game, but I don't think Georgia will. I don't think Georgia really has a game that I'm worried too much that we're going to lose after this Texas game. You know, we get a bye after this game, and then we got Florida, who's terrible. Ole Miss and Tennessee back to back, I don't love, but Tennessee will be at home. Obviously, UMass and Georgia Tech, I'm not too worried about. Both of those will be. I'm pretty sure UMass is obviously at home. I'm pretty sure Georgia Tech is at home. And then Ole Miss is on the road, but Ole Miss has looked very beatable. Very beatable. This game is going to tell us a lot. I think an interesting maybe stat interesting, something interesting to note going into this game. Statistically speaking, the best offense that Texas has faced has been UTSA. And in all of their Power Four games, their games against Power Four opponents, the quarterbacks they have faced have been a walk on quarterback in his second ever start, which was Michigan, and two freshmen. The one obviously at Mississippi State, and the one at Oklahoma. And here's my thing. I said this when I picked Oregon to beat Ohio State, and a lot of people, I don't want to hear people pretending like they all thought Oregon was going to win. No, no, no. Last week, most people picked Ohio State to win. I did not. And why did I pick Oregon? When I was previewing the game and then after the game happened, what was I talking about? Obviously, because Ryan Day can't win a big game. But other than that, what was the second reason? Because Ohio State played such a weak schedule that I was worried how they were going to hold up when they were actually tested against an actual team and an actual quarterback, an actual offense. And what happened? Ohio State's defense crumbled over and over the entire game. And I kind of see something similar here. Who has Texas played that has worried them? Michigan's awful. And look, I'm not saying it's Texas's fault. I mean, Michigan just won the national championship. I mean, they thought that was going to be a barn burner. And it turns out Michigan's terrible, which I told people before the beginning of the season, but I digress. But, I mean, Mississippi State, really? Oklahoma is terrible. They should have lost to Auburn. No one has tested this Texas defense, and no one, quite frankly, has tested this Texas offense. You think Louisiana Monroe is testing them? And it's also worthy to note that Quinn Ewers is made of popsicle sticks and gets injured quite often. Are we sure he's going to make it through the entirety of this game? Is he 100%? Just something to think about. Georgia hasn't looked good. That's obvious. But at least they're battle tested. At least they know how to win when they're not playing their best. At least they've been through the struggle this year. They have placed. They have played good teams. Clemson and Alabama. And I don't care what people want to say, Clemson's a good team. Of course, everyone thought Clemson was trash after Georgia beat them. Oh, turns out they're actually quite good. Might win the ACC. And Alabama doesn't look good now, obviously. But at the end of the day, they're still ranked a top 10 team. I believe in Kirby. I believe in the Dogs. But they're going to have to come out and show something that they haven't shown all year, and that's a full, complete four-quarter game. Plain and simple. And I would love for them to just come out and do what they love to do, where when everyone doubts us, we come out and absolutely dominate and take the life out of that other team. I would love for that to happen. And maybe it will. I don't know. But it'll certainly be interesting to see. But those are my picks. Last night, by the way, Boston College and Virginia Tech played. Virginia Tech looked very good. Boston College has fallen off a cliff, which is kind of to be expected. It's a first-year head coach, first-year head coach for Boston College, and Bill O'Brien, and you expect up and down. It's like a roller coaster. And Virginia Tech looked good. They looked how people thought they would look at the beginning of the season. It's a little too late, but it is what it is. Oregon Purdue is also tonight. It's going to be a great uniform matchup. If you didn't see I saw on Instagram what the uniform that Purdue is wearing, the uniform that Oregon's wearing. It's going to be a pretty game to watch uniform wise. Virginia plays Clemson. Clemson will probably smash them. Missouri Auburn at Missouri. You got to go Missouri. Will Army continue their undefeated run? They have East Carolina. I think they'll beat East Carolina. Wisconsin Northwestern, I'll tell you what, Wisconsin's continuing to look better as the season's going on, and Northwestern is pretty meh. So I was really impressed by Wisconsin's performance against Rutgers last week. And Rutgers has UCLA at home. I can't even speak. UCLA is so bad, they made me not able to speak. UCLA is terrible. Rutgers will beat them. South Carolina, Oklahoma. Gosh, who knows who's going to win that one? Probably South Carolina, but ugh, yikes. Let's see. Navy can keep their undefeated streak going against Charlotte. They probably will beat Charlotte. NC State sucks, which I said when Tennessee beat them, but no one wanted to listen. USC Maryland's kind of interesting. Maryland's been terrible this year, but USC has to come all the way across the country to play this game. I mean, if Maryland wins, does Lincoln Riley get fired on the spot? He might. I probably would fire him on the spot, but then again, I tend to get emotional about these things, but that's okay. Baylor, Texas Tech. Texas Tech is looking very solid this year. I think they can keep that going against Baylor, mainly because they're at home. Texas A&M can keep their undefeated conference play streak going against Mississippi State. I will say that Mississippi State quarterback Van Buren, I think his name, he looked better as the game went on against Georgia. You could see he was finally starting to kind of understand. It was slowing down for him. So you never know. LSU, Arkansas, this game is dangerous for LSU. LSU just came off an emotional, intense overtime victory. They got revenge on Ole Miss, and now you're going to Arkansas, who, Arkansas has done this to LSU in the past, where Arkansas had not nearly as good of a team and somehow won this game because LSU likes to come and be unprepared occasionally. So I worry about LSU in this spot because Arkansas is not a terrible team by any means. And if LSU comes unprepared, they'll lose. But I hope that does not happen. And I'm hoping that Ole Miss game put Brian Kelly and LSU back on track. Iowa State will probably beat UCF, keep their undefeated streak going. Kansas State, West Virginia is an interesting one. That one is hard to predict. I think I'd pick Kansas State, although for some reason I have like this weird faith in Avery Johnson in Kansas State, and I don't know why. It feels unearned. Iowa, Michigan State is going to make us all not want to watch football ever again. And then TCU, Utah. Gosh, Cam Rising. This guy, if he comes back and plays another year, I mean, oh, buddy. I mean, just go get your finance degree. Like, come on now. Go get your finance degree and let's move on. All right. It's unfortunate, but it's just not, this isn't it. This isn't it for you, bud. But I could see TCU winning, but I could also see Utah winning with it being at home. Really late game. But yeah, that's the week 8. Yes. The week 8 slate. I'll tell you what, every time I come on here and I do these podcasts, I'm like, oh, maybe I could make like a 45-minute episode. And then I just fly through. It's because like I think when I am passionate about something and I just start talking, I tend to talk kind of fast and just keep just going, 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 going. And maybe I should just slow down a little bit, but I don't know. I just go and I go and I go very quickly and I look up and I'm like, oh, I just did my picks and there were only 10 minutes in. That's unacceptable. But um, how about this? I will give my Heisman rankings. How about we do that? Now, I think there's a clear favorite with the Heisman right now. People want to lie to themselves and be like, oh, it's Travis Hunter. Oh, it's, I don't know, Cam Ward. I don't know. Look, it's Ashton Genty. Come on now. This guy he already has 1,000 yards rushing. He's been utterly fantastic. I don't care if he's doing it at Boise State against lesser opponents. He dominated against Oregon as well. Okay, he certainly looked better than Quinshawn Judkins and Travion Henderson. Just putting that out there. But Ashton GT would be my one. Travis Hunter would be my two, but he's a distant two. And do I even have a three? Who would be my three? It'd probably be a quarterback, right? But what quarterback is the question? It's not Carson Beck, obviously. It's not Will Howard. Is it Dylan Gabriel? Because of that performance against Oregon, it might be Dylan Gabriel. Yeah, I'll go Dylan Gabriel. I think the performance against Ohio State, did I say the performance against Oregon? Whatever. Because of the performance against Ohio State, I think that earns him the distant third spot in the Heisman rankings for yours truly. But I think that's where I'm going to end it. I hope everyone enjoys the weekend, enjoys the games. Go Dogs, by the way. And I hope everyone has a wonderful day. Enjoy your football weekend. And I'll talk to y'all on Tuesday.